I should be like you, Melvin.
Oh,
Jesus,
we're back.
fucking
We're
Christ.
back.
I need a shave. How fucking long does that intro go on for?
Literally, it's 3 minutes in and you're already moaning, you miserable old git.
I mean that intro, that lasts longer than an episode of Neighbours.
Oh,
Jesus
although
Christ.
saying that, Holly Valance was in Neighbours, wasn't she?
Oh, here we
And
go.
hold
Here
on.
we go.
Wasn't a certain Margot Robbie in Neighbours as well?
I'm sure if anybody knows, you would know. Under here, guys, it's a good job we can only see down there because under here he's got a fucking rock hard dick. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good
Welcome
evening.
along to the Cherry Fox.
Yeah. Cheers, mate. Look,
Cheers
we've got
indeed.
on the Leffe already.
Yes, we managed to get our 2 free drinks. No
Yes.
thanks to Mr. Knobhead sat next to me.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
he managed to cock it up, but never fear. Chris is here.
Exactly.
Prashant's in. Hi, Prashant. How you doing?
In fact, I think it was, you know, I'm really offended that Chloe didn't actually just serve me and just go, here's your drinks, sir. Here we are. Here's your drinks. You know, you had to go up there and sort it out with poor old Chloe.
Well, you fucking. Well, 2 words to describe you: fucking and useless. Can you actually? We were nearly late, right? He parks at mine, and there's 4 gaps. I'm number 2, and there's 1, 2, 3, and 4, all empty. He drives up in his Sherman tank, and anybody else would just turn up and go straight into the number 2 spot. Not him. He does about a 10-point turn.
You don't listen to him.
It's
He's
true.
just talking absolutely.
Oh, I've got a good story here for Leicester fans. So we were having a little bit of trouble getting our first pint, which is normally free. We did get it tonight eventually after I went up and
Saved the day.
and got on my knees and begged. But the guy that was arguing that said, well, I don't know if you get a free pint, blah, 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 was a Tottenham fan.
Wow.
And the guy sat next to me at the bar, who was having a bit of a chinwag with me, also a Tottenham fan.
What is it with Tottenham fans?
I don't know. I did wish him luck in the Europa League final.
Yeah.
And I did actually say to him that it should be all right because there's only 2 teams in it, so he can't come third in a 2-horse race.
But then again,
The second word, by the way, his reply, the second word was off.
But then again, as shit as Manchester United have been, Spurs are just absolutely crap, aren't they? Let's be honest. Postecoglou is a godder regardless. And I think Amarim's probably right behind him, isn't he?
Well, Amarin's, let's be honest with you, he's inherited a shitstorm. And I think Postecoglou, this is shitstorms of his own making because he's been there a year.
Yes, yeah, that's very true, actually.
And I must admit, I do actually want Man United to win.
To be honest.
Lie to me. Don't be honest. Lie to me.
That trophy cabinet will just be staying more and more and more empty.
Well, in fairness, on my brother-in-law's side, so my brother-in-law and his two sons are all Man United fans. So purely for keeping it in the family.
Yeah.
A bit like you and your sex life.
He's already lowered the category. Malcolm, by the way, welcome to the show. A regular on Up the Cherries in all departments. Lovely guy as
Lou
well.
Fox all the way from Canada.
There we are. See, we're going from the Cherry Fox all the way to Canada. And
I saw an advert once that said...
all corners of the world.
Yes, I saw an advert once that says Drink Canada Dry. I tried it.
You probably would do,
Yes.
You probably.
But I did enjoy my bit of banter with the Tottenham fans.
Yes.
You close your legs. Honestly, it's that.
We're back in the room.
We are back. Look at that.
We're back in the room.
We're not.
I'll tell you what.
Oh, we're not for long.
Hang on. The Cherry Fox, he's gone downhill. Oh, there we are. We're back to.
Funny thing was, when we weren't on, we gained 3 viewers.
Malcolm said, "Sort it out. You are frozen."
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry about that, Malcolm.
All I can say, Malcolm, let it go. Let it go. Don't forget, guys, if you are new, subscribe to Up the Cherries in all departments.
Well done, you've got it right.
I did. And Leicester Till I Die TV, our channels.
We go. I tell you what, that was novelty, wasn't it? Actually, do you know what? That would probably be the most watched part of this whole show.
I think it will.
It probably will be. Everybody's just gone, where's the technical difficulties? Right, let's go straight to that part.
What we did, what
That's
everybody else...
the most entertaining part of this show.
We did what everybody else would have done, which was turn it off and turn it on again.
Wow.
Where was our IT guy when we needed him?
I know.
Yes.
I know. Although I am trained in IT, so at the end of the day, I should be able to sort these problems.
You're not trained in anything.
I'm trained in lots of stuff, I'll have you know. Manager, me.
Manager. Selling what? How to employ people abroad when you live in the UK?
It's brilliant. Honestly, it's the future. So there we are. Chris.
Anyway, what we're going to talk about?
Let's talk about.
Can we talk about why you keep getting your legs open? Will you please shut your legs?
Well, you keep mentioning Margot Robbie and Holly Valance. I can't help it. You mentioned Mila Kunis, and now you're giving me no space.
You've got all that fucking space to the side of you.
Awkward you are.
No, it's just your legs. It's just your legs. It does this every time. You might as well just sit on my lap and see what comes up.
That'd be quite funny. Shall I try it?
No, you fucking don't. I disappear up too many rabbit holes.
I tell you what, let's start off. We're at the Cherry Fox, Malcolm. The Cherry Fox. Of course, named after AFC Bournemouth and Leicester City as well, who Chris supports until a certain man goes to Leicester City next year. Let's talk about that as well. Ruud van Nistelrooy is on the verge of being sacked.
Is he?
Or is he? But one of the people mentioned is the Lord, the Saviour, Gary O'Neill. And I think,
No, you missed it. The Lord, the Saviour, the wanker.
Gary O'Neill did a good job for us in the first
Yes,
season.
he got you beaten 9-0, didn't he?
No, that was Scott Parker.
Was it?
See, he knows his stuff, don't he?
Well, excuse me, why would I know anything about Bournemouth?
He's a Leicester fan.
Yeah, why would I want to know anything about Bournemouth? All I do know is that, you play in a shed.
We don't play in a shed.
Yes, you do.
That ground has got a lot more atmosphere than the King Power.
I've seen bigger sheds at B&Q.
No, that ground, that stadium has got more atmosphere.
True. Yeah, thank you. Even the audience in the pub are going true. West Ham. Leicester. Really? Leicester, me too.
Leicester fan.
Hey, there's two of them. This is what we call a Leicester Mafia.
We're being outnumbered
everybody.
here, and we're actually in Bournemouth.
And you're being outnumbered by Leicester fans.
And we're being outnumbered by Leicester fans.
That's not hard. I mean, how long have you had that temporary stand-up? I've lived down here 15 years, and that's been a temporary stand for 15 years.
But talking about this, we've bought that stadium back now. So, of course, Structure Dean, bought it off us when we were skint, put nicely. We did try and buy it back in the second season in the Premier League, but they wanted something ridiculous, like 11 times the actual amount that they paid us for it. So, you used to take it as 2.5 million. It's going to be more than this, but 2.5 million. They wanted, 27.5 million, which is ridiculous. Now, he's such a fucking child. He's old enough to be my dad.
I am. Unfortunately, everybody, I am old enough to be his dad. And I'm just saying, if I was your dad, I'd have fucking drowned you at birth.
Oh, jeez. No, that's awful.
What do you mean? You're the only person I know who didn't get a reply from Jimmy Savile.
Oh, jeez. He's going down to whole new levels now. We're talking about Gary O'Neill, and you've gone completely off the whole radar and started talking about.
Evening all.
Evening.
Anyway, talking about Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Will you two be back at the pub together on the last game of the season? You know what? That's a very, very, very good idea. And I think maybe we should do. So what do you think? Last game of the season, we'll go down the pub and, we'll give our verdicts on how shit Leicester have been and how good Bournemouth have been after a 5-0 win for the Cherries.
Bournemouth, European chasing Bournemouth. 3 wheels on my wagon. And I'm still rolling along. Anyway, Ruud van Nistelrooy. Actually, that is a very. The only problem is we won't be able to watch the match down here.
No. But at the end of the day, we could watch the match, and then afterwards
we could come down here for. Yes, we could.
End of season point.
That's not. Who suggested
celebrate
that?
our win.
Who suggested that?
Prashant. Celebrate the Cherries.
You're my man. You're my man.
I think we've got.
Anyway, we were talking about Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Yeah, Gary O'Neill. Gary O'Neill is going to come and
No,
replace.
he's not.
Yeah.
I did a show last night on who will take us forward into the championship and lead our promotion charge. And I did suggest that Ruud van Nistelrooy in the last couple of games has kind of got us playing well. Now that the shackles...
It's a shame he couldn't do it earlier on the season.
Yeah. But the thing is, once the shackles are off...
Maybe Steve Cooper would have done a better job, wouldn't he?
He probably would, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah, he probably
and
would.
hindsight is a marvellous thing.
It's a marvellous thing. Marvellous thing.
But then again, you shouldn't put beans in your eyes.
Yeah.
Heinz, beans, right.
What a terrible analogy that is.
Yeah, hindsight.
Hindsight.
Heinz baked beans. You know, when you've got to explain your jokes to the children in the room.
Dad's jokes all over.
Yeah. But when you're under pressure to try and stay up, right?
You put Heinz baked beans in your eyes.
You don't want to try anything new just in case. But once you're down and the shackles are off and you've got that freedom to make it doesn't matter. You could put the women's team out; it wouldn't matter because we're down.
How do you come to that analogy? Because at the end of the day, you need to fight for every point. That's the whole idea.
Yes, but all right, let me just say
every single point.
So you put your best 11 out. Now that best 11 may be shit, and there's two sides to every argument. Of course there is.
To be honest, you'll agree that your Leicester have been shit this season.
We have. Totally and utterly. And, when you've got a manager that plays the same team with the same tactics, with the same formation, 15 games in a row, and you lose 14 of those, something is wrong.
Yeah.
But once you are... And look, earlier in the season, Southampton would not have got a point against Manchester City.
No.
But they're down, nothing to go for. All right, they may have played 9 at the back, who knows. But once you're down, you have got those shackles off you.
Yeah.
So the last couple of games, maybe we have seen a little chink of light. However, we were looking at who could possibly come in. Favourite at the moment at 5-4 is Russell Martin.
What, the guy who got Southampton
yes,
up,
that's him.
Built the world's best Southampton. Well, to be honest, Southampton are shite to start off with.
Yes. So
sorry, Yasmin,
when you listen to him, because it was on Match of the Day on Sunday night, and when you listen to him, he actually does talk a good game. Second favourite is Sean Dyche, but I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back to Sean to that sort of.
Fantastic job at Everton, didn't he? Fantastic job.
When you lean forward, you've got a bowl patch there, you know.
Do you know what? I look a little bit like Sean Dyche, and Sean Dyche did a fantastic job at Everton. They really,
he would have. No. If you go back, he would
attack at all, did they? If they had 2 weeks in front of Team Court back in January, they still wouldn't have scored. But Sean Dyche is such a good manager.
You finished?
I'm finished.
Doesn't it like fucking milking a joke? Well, I say a joke. I use that in its loosest possible term. But Sean Dyche would have kept Everton up. Let's be honest. He would have kept Everton up. But he would get Leicester up next season, subject to points deduction and all that. He would get us up, and he would possibly keep us up. But he's not necessarily going to win us any competitions or get us into Europe.
No.
However, I don't want to go back to that style of football. So then you go to the people after that. And look, it's the same usual suspects that are on the list. At 33-1 is Gary O'Neill. But can I just say, no, get that.
Gary's a good manager.
Shut up.
Good manager.
33-1 also Gareth Southgate, also Wayne Rooney.
He's not going to go there. Or Wayne Rooney, you might get him.
Also Steven Gerrard. There's about 20 at 33-1.
Oncoming.
I would sooner put your dick up my arse than have Gary Neal as my manager.
What, would you rather Wayne Rooney than Gary O'Neill?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't want Wayne Rooney either.
I'll tell you what, Wayne Rooney
Anyway.
to be honest, they might as well put me in charge of Leicester City. I do a lot better job than Wayne Rooney because he's a shit manager.
Yes, he is. No, I agree with you on that one.
I would do a better job than Wayne Rooney. Let's
30
be honest,
minutes. 30 minutes into the show, we actually agree on something.
Let's be honest. It's not.
No, lie to me. Don't be honest. Lie to me.
It's not 30 minutes into the show. It's 20 minutes into the show.
Is it?
Should have gone to Specsavers.
I should have done.
Yeah,
I should have done.
There is
You
one
actually
down the
look
road.
quite handsome, you know.
Do I?
Yeah, but then again, I should have gone to Specsavers. You know the classic. I've probably told you this. I was in Specsavers in Bournemouth, and I put a thing, like a Facebook message. I said, "I'm in Specsavers. I'm hoping I fail my eyesight, then I can get a job as a Premier League referee." And Specsavers actually replied and said, "Good luck." Anyway,
oh dear, he's full of them.
The question is,
dad jokes.
no, that's true though. The question is, who will be in charge next season? The answer is, fuck knows, because the club are just taking so long. When will we sack Ruud van Nistelrooy? Probably in July when it's the new financial year. Who knows? What I want to say is though, who will be managing Bournemouth next season?
Oh, now you've really upset me now. You didn't have to do that.
That's not. It's easy to
You
do.
didn't have to do that. Andoni Iraola. Andoni Iraola will be the Bournemouth manager next year because the man is an absolute legend.
He's a legend. No, I get for Bournemouth. Let's be honest with you. He is probably, apart from Eddie Howe, he's probably the best manager you've ever had. Because what he has done with your squad.
To be honest, nobody can ever replace Eddie because at the end of the day, we were on our backside and he got this football club from minus 17 all the way to the top flight. He did go to, he did go to Burnley, come back, not a problem. Everybody's got a bit of a blotch on their CV, but at the same time, what he did here was fantastic, and he's doing a fantastic job.
I absolutely got so much time.
But it's going to be
Eddie
Andoni
Howe.
that's going to be the manager here next year. I've got no doubt about it. Bill Foley is going to pull up trees to make sure he stays here. The fear for me though is that Andoni might look at it, and if we are selling too many players that he wants to keep hold of, like Kirkes, and say for example, Clivert, Hoyson. If all these players go, Andoni might think, well, I'm effectively starting again, which might actually tempt him to go, okay, if a club come in like Spurs, unfortunately, he might think, well, it might be worth a chance. But honestly, I don't think he'll go to Spurs because of Daniel Levy. There's one club in this country that I think he'd go to, and that's Arsenal. So hopefully they don't get rid of Arteta. But let's be fair, if Real Madrid come in, Chris, nobody in their right mind... Well, they're not going to
because they've got a new manager, haven't they?
Well, yeah, but he was linked with Real Madrid. Yeah. If they come in, you're not going to go,
got the same
I'm sorry, I'm not going to go to the...
But you've got the same problem that Leicester have got, right? Is if we get a manager in and he does well, if we get players in and done well, and look, we've won the Premier League, we've won the FA Cup in the last 10 years.
I hope Malcolm's right. They won't all be going, Craig. I don't think they will. But it depends how many of them go to whether or not Andoni is having to build a whole new side. Well, to be honest, Frano and Pinto will be doing that. It won't be Andoni. Andoni tells them what he wants. They go out and find these players.
I'm glad you invited me on your show, by the way.
Well, we've talked about Leicester. It's boring.
And I let you talk about it. And I'm talking about Bournemouth when I get the chance.
Right, I'll shut up. Right, here we go. This is a Leicester fan talking about Bournemouth. Right, so carry on.
Look, I live down here. I have got a soft spot for Bournemouth. When I shoot your fucking legs again, honestly, I think Margot Robbie's down there sucking him off. When I came down here,
dirty mind.
When I came down here, that was when you were struggling. You were collecting money in pots outside the pavilion. Your story has been fantastic. Had we not won the Premier League that season, you would have been the story of that season, having got up to the Premier League and stayed up there. It is a fantastic, absolutely brilliant story, and I do have a special place in my heart for Bournemouth. I do always look out for them, even when you were relegated. But the problem with Bournemouth is very much like Leicester, is that even though we've won the Premier League and got the FA Cup and got Europe and quarter-finals of the Champions League, blah, 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 we are not perceived as a big club, and Bournemouth aren't as well.
Yeah.
And look, we took Enzo Maresca from Manchester City as assistant manager.
Yeah.
He had never managed before apart from 12 games at Parma. We gave him the opportunity. He took us up. What did he do? As soon as Chelsea came in, he went. I don't blame him for that because he had no reason.
You were bloody moaning about
Yes,
him
I
at the end of the
was.
season.
I was. But he's got no affiliation to Leicester.
Yeah.
So it's to him, it's just a job, right? So if he'd stayed with Leicester, we'd have probably gone down still. Would Chelsea come in for him then? Of course they wouldn't. So Bournemouth have got that same problem. If one of the big six clubs come in, Man United, Tottenham, well, Chelsea probably won't. One of those clubs come in, he will probably consider going. Whether he goes or not is who knows, but he's going to think about it because yes, he's done a great job at Bournemouth, but if Bournemouth get relegated, they'll sack him as quick as anything.
Yeah.
And there's no loyalty in football. We know that. I hope he stays with you, but I am just concerned that there is a club out there, whether it's a big European club or a big English club, as in Spurs, like you say, as in Arsenal, who once again managed to win absolutely fuck all, will come in for him, and he will be tempted because of who they are. Nothing against Bournemouth. It's just that Bournemouth are limited with what they can do.
Yeah, but somebody earlier on made a very, very good point about our training ground, and it is as good as yours.
Absolutely.
It is as good as yours.
I've seen
if
the
not
videos.
better. It's bloody brilliant.
I would say it's on par. And
No.
this is my argument. No. Have you got a golf course?
Yes, there's a golf course nearby.
Nearby? Is it part of your training?
But there's
No.
Canford Sang.
Excuse me.
It's
Ask this
beautiful.
question. Have you got a golf course? No. Have you got a swimming pool?
Probably in there.
Probably. No, in fairness, I've seen the videos, and it is as good as our training ground.
Yeah, it's lovely.
And this is where
is
where I think we maybe have missed out on the boat because we've not taken advantage of having that. That said, there's a lot of young players coming through now, and it will take 4 or 5 years for your youngsters to come through that. But it is an amazing training ground.
And to be honest, the training ground we've got at the moment, it is light years ahead of them. Which, to be honest, I've been lucky enough to go round with my late friend, as everybody will know, Al Gard, God rest his soul, and, a really, really good friend that we went round and we looked around the ground. Former fan all his life, he told me loads of stories about the club. He's always an enlightening person to listen to. But we went round that training ground, and it was small, and it's just behind Dean Court.
Yes, it is, yeah.
What they used to do, this is going back in the day, was that they used to go down to the Village Hotel by Bournemouth Hospital to actually, go to
their gym and what have
and
you,
things like that.
Yes.
The women's team, believe it or not, still go down there. They still go down there. So this is a game changer for this football club.
But Bournemouth Football Club, for me, is what football in this country is all about. When I came down here, I couldn't work out. I worked for the local newspaper. Your legs are moving again. I came and worked for the local newspaper, the Echo, and I have to say, everybody that was there supported 2 teams. Yeah. They supported Bournemouth and another. One of my mates there was an Arsenal fan, and we used to joke that if Arsenal won, he'd support Arsenal, but if Arsenal didn't win, he'd support Bournemouth. And I jokingly said, what are you doing? He said, well, look, Arsenal's my team. It was my dad's team and what have you, and I understand that. But I live in Bournemouth, so I'm kind of following Bournemouth as well. And I totally understand that. But the Bournemouth story and the Leicester story over the last 10
Oh, yeah,
years
yeah, I was-
has been
well,
what football in this country is all about, and that's what they're trying to kill. Little clubs. I mean, look, the Luton story, absolutely fantastic.
100%.
We're going to talk Reading in a minute. Reading
Yeah.
story, thank God that's happened.
Yeah.
But that is what you want football in this country to be all about.
Yeah.
The little clubs having a go at it.
Well, exactly. And the problem is...
And I will always have
the
a
big-
soft spot for Bournemouth.
the big clubs will still push out, their smaller clubs. Either Manchester United or Spurs are going to win that Europa League. Means that they get the riches of the Champions League next year.
Yeah.
I think personally, that shouldn't happen. Okay, the holders go into the next competition. It provides an incentive for the Europa Conference League winners. Say, for example, Bournemouth got into Europa Conference League and then went and won that competition. Playing in the Europa League it is an incentive. It's an incentive.
Can you imagine the team that has finished 17th in the Premier League playing in the Champions League?
No.
How much of a joke is that?
It's
now,
an
I've got to say,
joke.
when we were in Europe, the good old days, any Leicester fans, when we were in Europe, the second year, we struggled in the Europa League.
Yeah.
I say that we should have been out of. That's it. We're out of Europe. We didn't qualify, didn't go through to the playoffs. We should be out. Oh no. Because we came third in our group, we went into the Conference League and got to the semi-final of the Conference League where we lost to Roma.
But that doesn't happen anymore.
No, but that is wrong.
Yes.
But, my God, I was glad of it because it kept the European dream alive.
But I completely agree with you. It's completely wrong. And what they're doing now is completely wrong. Where they're moving teams up, into... let's be honest. Man United and Spurs are going to finish below Everton. They're going to finish below Wolves. They're going to finish below Crystal Palace.
My granddaughter, by the way.
Oh, congratulations. I'll tell you what. Yeah, Chris has just got a lovely picture, so...
My son does not, for some reason, the thing these days is you don't put the picture up on social media straight away.
Yeah, but to be honest, I don't anymore. To be honest, I hardly ever use social media.
To be honest with you, I do for the football and I do for the radio. But
and he uses porn
all the time. I tell you what's better, XNNN. That's even better,
See,
mate.
he knows of one that I didn't even know of.
No, don't say that. Not seen Margot Robbie's got her own page on that. I'm ordering a Sprite, by the way.
Oh, are you?
Yes.
Oh, very fine.
Well, you've drunk that empty one about 3 times and just dropping it in.
There we are. Well, I'll tell you what, let's get on to another club that, of course, I'm very, very close with. Everybody will know that originally I was born in Reading. And, of course, Reading Football Club for the past...
What table number are we? Sorry.
73. 73.
Not far off 69.
I know, your age. Oh, git.
I find that hard to swallow. I really do.
Oh, dear.
What did you want, by the way?
Should we say AFCB? Oh, what?
You can have a left if you want.
Yeah, I'll have a say. Yeah.
Most fucking expensive drink you can find. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. Get me a Brewdog IPA then, if you want. That's fine. I don't mind.
A Brewdog IPA.
Yeah. I like that stuff anyway.
Yeah. You don't want a Hazy Jane?
Yeah, but they come in the small cans.
Hazy Jane.
Yeah, get a pint of IPA. Yeah,
cool.
because they come in the other small little can.
Am I 18?
I think so. You're a bit bloody over 18. But I tell you what, let's talk about Reading, because Reading Football Club have been through the mill. I think I've been watching and following it, and of course my dad supports the football team, and they've been in this limbo state for 565 days, when the man who actually come on our show a come on my show, Rob Cohig. Now, Rob Cohig, before I interviewed him, he did a fantastic job at Wycombe. Of course, he upset Derby County because when Derby County stayed up, Wycombe went down. He tried to sue Derby County. He upset the Reading fans because, of course, they thought that he was going to come and buy the training ground for Wycombe Wanderers, which if you watch the interview that I did with him, you'll find out it was a completely different scenario to what, everything was made out as by the bad ownership at Reading at the time. But it's finally over, and Rob Cohig, who I can honestly say is a thoroughly decent man, has finally taken over, Reading Football Club from Dai Yong, who, I've heard a lot of contrasting facts about Dai Yong. Supposedly, a lot of people said that he's not a bad man, but he was misinformed by the likes of Nigel Howell, Graham O'Dell, Kia Jubaraki. Oh, you legend. Chloe will be over in a minute then.
She was over my knee last week.
Has to take it lower, don't he? But, all these people, Ron Gourlay, believe it or not, has somehow put a Saudi club and not submitted their accounts. Well, how do you do that? Saudi Arabia, it's awash with bloody money. They've got more money than, what they know what to do with. So it's a good thing that Reading have actually been sold to Rob Cohig. He will be a good custodian of that football club. Also, they don't, they're not going to spend ridiculous amounts. They're going to do it in the way that John Medeski did and gradually build that club up. But Melvin says, say, remember going to Elm Park in the 70s and singing Bill and Ben Biscuit Men.
I've got to say, look, I've no feelings either way towards Reading. I don't dislike them.
Yeah, but you don't ever want a club to go under like that.
I never want a club to go under.
Unless it's Milton Keynes Dons. I really dislike them.
No, even Milton Keynes Dons. Because at the end of the day, they did, but they had American owners, and it's what they do in America. In America, they buy a club and they move it.
Well, they didn't. They had Pete Winkleman.
Yeah, he was part of an American consortium.
They can't fill that stadium.
No, they can't. But look, had they not done that, Wimbledon would have gone bump anyway. But look,
but how do you know that? Because they were being in the Premier League for so many years.
Yeah, and they were dropping like a stone in a.
Yeah, but look at what AFC Wimbledon have done. They've got a fan base there.
Look, that's another story. But what I've got to say is, I never, ever want to see a club go out of business. Look, in my time, and I've said this before on this very show, I've worked all over the country. I worked in Bury for 2 years.
Yes.
The club at Bury. No, they don't tell you.
Time to reboot again. Yeah, to be honest, you haven't missed anything.
I was having a very nice conversation with another Leicester fan.
Well, no, you was talking about your doodah. And to be honest...
My doodah could probably manage better than Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Probably could, to be honest.
But no, I was saying was, before we were rudely interrupted by the internet, which is
Yes.
still a little bit. Oh, it's gone back
it's
now.
always all
Gone back
about.
now.
So go on, talk about Reading.
No, I never want to see any club go out of business. And I've worked in Bolton as well, and I've been to Bolton, and I've been to Burnley, and
if you know, you know.
and
Bolton.
I don't know, and I've been to Bury
Have you
I
never
worked
watched
in
Bo
those zones.
Selector?
No,
Bolton.
can't stand him. But no, I don't want.
Hey, your bloody bar bill. There you are, Chris. Go to the bar.
But I don't even want to see Coventry go out of business. I don't even want to see Derby go out of business. Yes, I want to see them in League Two. I don't want to see them go out of business. The Leicester fans looking at me like with death eyes there, like, how dare you say that? But no, I don't, because we've nearly gone out of business twice at Leicester. Once we were saved by Gary Lineker, Emil Heskey.
Not Gary O'Neill.
No, not Gary O'Neill. Gary Lineker and Big Ears and Emil Heskey.
Yeah.
And the second time we were saved by Milan Mandrić. And the problem you've got is when Milan Mandrić bought us, and God love him for saving us the second time. Thank you, Alan Birchnell, for getting that. Oh, look, we've got
we have got
a Twitch
yes, we've
idiot.
got a Twitch idiot.
A
Now,
Twitch
of
wanker.
course, luckily, nobody on YouTube can see this, but it seems that Lamine Yamal, somebody's turned around and said,
Oh, thank you very
lovely.
much.
Thank you so much.
Very kind. Thank you.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. You see?
There we are. That wasn't Chloe, was it?
That
was Louise, wasn't it?
That was a younger version of Chloe, yes.
That was Louise.
The dirty old man, this
yes,
guy, I tell
now,
you.
Winder Singh has said Lamine Yamal. There we go. There we are. Although earlier on Twitch, to be honest, we had somebody advertising a link. I didn't realise that my ex-girlfriend had actually managed to find this this channel.
I can't say a word because you banned me by talking about women in your life. Thing is, this is why I do not put it on Twitch, because Twitch has got a lot of wankers on there, and that's why I won't. But no, what I was going to say. Sorry?
Quite literally.
Yes. But no, look, I don't want any clubs to go out of business. We nearly went bust twice. Milan Mandrić, the best, mate. Up the Foxes.
Cheers, mate.
What's the show called?
Leicester Till I Die, LTID TV.
I'll subscribe.
Cheers,
buddy.
I'm on it.
Cheers.
Take care, bud. Thank you.
mate.
Cheers.
There we are.
Our new subscriber for LTID TV.
I didn't want to know about that one.
Who does? But no, what was I saying?
Well, we was talking
Oh yes,
about
Milan.
Reading.
When
Reading.
Milan Mandrić took Leicester over,
Yes.
and then he sold to King Power. Now remember, the last club he owned before Leicester was Portsmouth, and he sold that to a Russian businessman who was the biggest crook going and ruined Portsmouth Football Club. So we had no idea when he sold to King Power. My God, from Thailand, who are they? Have you ever heard of football? Blah blah blah. We struck gold. So you never know when somebody takes you over, as in Reading's case with De Jong, what they're going to be like. But I'm so pleased for Reading fans out there that their club is saved.
Yeah.
I'll just say that.
No. Well said. Well said, Chris. And
Anyway.
honestly, it's a really, really good thing. Whatever you do, don't touch that, because you've still got a little bit. Yeah, it's got a bit dodgy. We've got a dodgy cable, not just a dodgy internet. We've got
Right.
a dodgy cable.
We
need to make some more money. Right?
We do. Subscribe. $1.99.
Yes.
$1.99 to be a member on
99p.
LTIDT.
99p. Come pay for up the Sherry's Law department.
Not even half a pint. Not even get half a pint for. I've just checked. £2.49 for half a pint here at the Cherry Fox. But
I tell you what,
can
let's
we
talk
talk
about.
about? No.
I'll tell you who we should talk about, because I did get a really nice email actually from them the other day, and they are.
Go on, Rob.
I believe.
I can fly.
Hold on. No, I need to check whether or not they're.
Well, while
playing
you're
tonight.
checking,
Well-
I want to talk Tottenham and Man United.
Oh, who cares about them? Listen,
Who has
people
had-
care about Stockport
Who has
County?
had a worse season? Leicester, who have come up and were probably quite expected to go down, or Tottenham and Manchester, who, let's be honest with you, are 16th and 17th in the Premier League. Forget Europe. How embarrassing. How utterly embarrassing is that for those two clubs? Two clubs that are supposedly in the Big Six. I would tend to say they've had a worse season than us. Yes, we got relegated, and they were never going to get relegated because Ipswich, Leicester, and Southampton have been so shit this season. I accept that. But how bad are they really?
They're absolutely terrible. To be honest, Man United, there's only one player that I take from their squad, and that's Kobe Mainoo. I really like Kobe Mainoo.
Yes, and I have to say, I would take Fernandes. I would, because he's like a bit like a Robbie Savage. When you play, when you don't support Man United, he's a little scrawny bastard, to be honest with you. That's always moaning. When he's playing for your team, you love him.
Yeah,
a bit like Robbie Savage. But anyway, so you were. Wait, I just wanted to get that point in.
Yeah.
Talk to me about your strange email from your porn.
It wasn't from Pornhub. I had an email actually the other day from Stockport.
Enlarge your penis?
No. A Stockport
Increase
County.
your boob size?
He's got the dirtiest mind.
Blue pill or red pill?
Blue pill or red pill? Well, you do need a bit of Viagra.
At my age, as Tesco say, every little helps.
Zero.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. There you go.
On to the proper stuff now. I bet the good old English cider.
Good old English Cornish cider.
And the good news is that bumblebees are back, which means they're pollinating more apples, so there'll be more cider about. I am a cider drinker. I drink it all over day. Wurzels.
Do you know what?
Oh, no, sorry. Something comes to before you do that. Congratulations to Coventry for failing to get into the playoff final. We'll see you next season.
Dear, oh dear. And now on to Stockport County, who unfortunately are getting beat by Leyton Orient at the moment.
Are they?
But I had a really nice email from them. Now, Stockport County, we're talking about teams going through the mill. They went through the mill because they went all the way down to the National League North. But yeah, they wanted to find out a little bit more about the stories of, when they played Bournemouth previously, which is a long fucking time ago, mind. When, like going to Edgeley Park. Edgeley Park. Have you ever been to Edgeley Park? You've been to Edgeley Park, haven't you?
Can't say
when they're in Division 1, and you was in Division 1.
Margot Robbie come back?
No, Mila Kunis.
I can't remember. I personally have never been there. I don't know if Leicester possibly have.
But, that was one of the questions. And, do you know what? They're a club I'd really like to see, get back in the top two tiers. It'd be great for Leyton Orient as well, don't get me wrong. But one of the funniest questions on there, and I've still got to send this email, is what did you do the last time you went to Stockport? And I thought, when was the last time I went to Stockport? And I realised, back in 2006, I was at university. Yeah, university. And
no, you've never been near a university.
I did go to university. I did something that's completely out of date now.
What did you study at university?
Computer studies, I believe it was. Yes.
So basically, a cop-out.
And there was a girl there, right, called Lexi, and she was from Ellesmere Port, right? And that was the last time I was in Stockport. It was pissing down with rain. She was worried about her hair. I wanted to go get a pint because the train was delayed. Had a massive argument. Probably quite a good job that I never ended up with her, apparently. And yeah, that was the last time I went to Stockport. And I thought, well, should I tell them a lie and just make something up? Or shall I tell them this story? And I thought, fuck it, let's tell them this story.
Can I ask, without mentioning names, so you don't want me to mention names, but your good lady,
yes,
does she watch this?
She knows this story.
Does she? Oh,
yes,
okay.
She knows the story.
Okay.
So yes. Don't you worry.
See you later.
It's just wrong. It's just wrong. You're just weird. Fucking strange. He's just fucking
Excuse me,
strange, man.
coming from you,
You're just strange.
how can you
Well,
call me strange?
to be honest, she probably doesn't watch this show. Nobody, let's be honest. Nobody
No,
apart from
you
the 12 people watching it watch this show.
Do you know
because it
why?
really
And probably
bloody
11
mad.
of those are from mine. But let me tell you something.
What? Get off.
Let me
No.
say something. The reason that your good lady never watches your show is because she's always won mine. Look at you fucking look. I am sat here and his leg is there. Shut your fucking leg up. Jesus. I'll tell you what, I'm never going to the pictures with you. Jesus Christ. Well,
Oh, you're bloody good lady. What do you call it? You said Margot Robbie.
she was round the other night.
Right. I'll tell you what. It's just descended into madness.
I sent her.
How we got from Stockport?
I showed her a
to back to
picture
the
of
same
you.
subject?
I showed her a picture of you, and she said no thanks. But she did offer you the sheets to sniff.
It's just like, I don't know what it is.
Excuse me, who has got the fascination with Margot Robbie?
Most of the world.
No, you.
I'll tell you what, let's ask
You.
the chat. Who loves Margot Robbie's movies?
Barbie?
No, it's
No. So you'll give me that one, won't you?
I failed on this. Wolf of Wall Street, especially that moment.
Was she in there?
Yes. What you did? If you never watched Wolf of Wall
Yes,
Street,
I have.
where
But
she's
was
like,
she in there? Was
Yeah,
she the wife?
yeah, where she sat there
Okay.
in front of Oh no, this is going to be bad. I forgot the name of the guy that actually. I've got his book. Actually, it's a very, very, very good book. But I tell you, I found out Margot Robbie loves ice hockey today, and I'm devastated she's off the market. See,
Devastated what, sorry?
Tom is really disappointed. Prashant
Thomas.
loved Wolf of Wall Street.
Thomas, hello, sir.
Ronald-
Thomas, how are you doing?
Ronald probably does love.
He's one of mine, is Tom. Tom, nice to see you, mate. To see you, nice.
Who was the guy that was in? Who was it based on?
It was
Jordan Belfort. That's it.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you ever read a book, that is a great book to read. Jordan Belfort was really interesting.
You read?
Yes, Jordan Belfort.
Fucking hell, you don't. You no way do you read.
I read.
You find it difficult
bloody do
enough.
read.
You find it difficult enough to speak. How can you read? Oh, evening all. Can I just say, anybody that's living in Dorset, right, I'm going to do this. I'm just give me a bit of self-publicity here. This Saturday is Eurovision, but starting at 6
Is it?
Yes.
Do you know what?
Shut up a minute.
Actually,
Shut up a minute.
Eurovision is
Shut up a
one of the
minute.
greatest days. I
Shut up a
am
minute.
watching that. I'm so pleased.
Yeah, because you're probably wanking off to remember Monday, aren't you?
No, I am so pleased. Are you doing a Eurovision show?
No.
I want to do a Eurovision show with you not because of the music, it's all shit, but it's so funny because it's just the reactions, and I'm just turning around and I'm going,
No, it is.
this
It
is
is.
absolute.
But can I say, please tune in to Dorset Riviera Radio. You can get us on the website or you can get us via Alexa. So it's Dorset Riviera Radio. You're going to feel really bad in a minute. Dorset Riviera Radio, because from 6 o'clock on Saturday night, we are doing a 24-hour presentathon in aid of homeless veterans.
Now, I do feel bad.
Yes, no, you fucking should, you twat. Now, how many times do the people come over
Yeah.
in boats and what have you, and they move into 5-star hotels,
Yes.
And we've got homeless veterans on the street. There's one in
100%,
Poole. There's one in Poole. If you get on, you can follow me on Facebook, Christopher David, or Chris David, I think it is.
Yeah.
Dorset Riviera Radio is also on Facebook. I am on Saturday night from 12 o'clock till 3 o'clock. 12 o'clock midnight till 3 o'clock in the morning. My God, can you imagine? They're letting me loose after the watershed. But please do. And if you go on to dorsetrivieraradio.co.uk, there will be a link there where you can donate to our Just Giving page. Look, we're not asking for an awful lot. We've set a target of £500.
Yeah.
We're already at 200, so we're not asking for great amounts of money, but it does help. There's a link onto the Just Giving page on that. On my Facebook, there is a link to a Just Giving, the same Just Giving page. Please support us. These people put their lives online for this country, and they are treated like a piece of shit.
100%.
So
100%.
now I've got my normal breakfast show Saturday morning 7 till 10.
Yeah.
I do the weekend breakfast show. I'm not on Sunday because I'm up from midnight till 3 on the Saturday night, so no fucking way I'm getting up to do the weekend breakfast show on the Sunday. 12 till 3. We're going to have a load of top 10s. We're going to have things like the top 10 museums in the world, like the Vagina Museum.
Oh, you've got to put some stuff from Amsterdam in there. Supposedly, there's loads of museums.
Yes.
Yeah, there's loads of museums. I didn't go round them because I was too busy going around the Ajax Amsterdam Arena.
Yeah. Of course you didn't.
Well, I might get demonetised if I put them on it.
But please do, come and listen to me. Honestly, it's after the watershed. Anything goes. They're daft enough to give me the midnight till 3 a.m. slot. It's going to be great fun. Look, we just want to raise money for the veterans. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah.
Please get on and donate it. What I'll do, if I can remember when I get in, I'll actually put the link in the YouTube description on this channel so that you can see it.
There we are.
What?
Chris, we so need a lad's holiday to Amsterdam. Very cheap at the moment as well, very cheap.
Yes.
Go with KLM, fly straight up, straight down, nice and easy.
Most airplanes
50
do
minutes.
that.
It's 15 minutes, albeit it's a bit of a cramped, small aeroplane. It's not it's not the spacious aircraft that I went to.
A bit like Margot Robbie's privates, small and cramped. But very
but that's what you want. You don't want an airplane.
It wasn't after doing that when she came round to see me. But please support Homeless Veterans UK. It's a great cause.
Yeah.
Please do get out there and support it, guys. 12 till 3 a.m. dorsetrivieraradio.co.uk. He might even ring in and put a request in. Who knows?
I will do. I'll probably come on if you want me to.
Oh my
I'll
God!
probably come and say hello. So yeah.
I need to find out a way to do that.
Do give generously. And here's a very, very quick note from me. Keir Starmer is a wanker. Can't stand the bloke.
Do you know? Can I just say?
I know it's not a political show, but I can't stand the bloke.
Can I just say that's twice tonight we've agreed.
Is it?
Yes.
Keir Starmer's.
In fact, no. When you wank, something good comes out of it.
Yeah, Keir Starmer. There's nothing good. He's the worst prime minister in this country.
No. In fairness, let's not forget Liz Truss.
No, she was better.
No.
She was better.
No. But he's definitely up there with it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're getting political. Let's get back on the football.
Yes, but Liz Truss was up there. Keir Starmer.
What's happened to Bournemouth this season? We started to talk about Bournemouth. I remember I had you on a show on my channel talking about the running, the last 6 or 7 games of the season. And you were like, whoa, Europe is on its way and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of wheels, and I don't mean it horribly, but wheels have kind of come off the wagon a little bit.
Yeah, they have, yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Like I say, I've got a soft spot for all the clubs where I've worked. So Bournemouth, Burnley, Bolton Bury, even Preston, a lovely family club, Blackpool, and Poole. I love Poole Town.
He gets around a bit, doesn't he?
I do. Like a good woman, I get around.
He has seen the sights. He's seen the sights.
And I've ended up in Bournemouth.
No, I wonder where he's going next.
Do you know what? The
Hang
best.
on.
Can I just say?
Let's spin a dice to see where you're going to end up next. Or are you just going to
Spin it then. Spin it then.
I ain't got dice.
Oh no, man, no. That was a stupid fucking thing to say.
Well, yeah.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Let's spin a dice, but I haven't got a dice. What a fucking thing to say. I'd say the best team, because I've always kind of followed wherever I've lived or I've worked, right? No, obviously, Leicester's still my number one team. The best team I've ever followed is Poole Town. Non-league, or when you're stood behind the goal and the guy next to you is going, "What the fucking hell did you do then, you twat?" And I turned to him and said, "Oh, do you follow Paul then, do you?" He said, "I do, I fucking own them." He was the actual owner. You know, I mean, and they welcomed me with open arms. I was a steward there, then I worked on the gate when I could stay in a little hut when it was pissing down with rain. They've now got new owners and apparently they're not as good now. But no, I loved Poole Town. There's something about non-league football, and again, this is what football is all about. Fuck the Champions League, fuck the FIFA World Cup, Club Cup, whatever it is, with its fancy trophy that spins on itself.
It does it?
Oh, so have you not seen it?
No, I couldn't give two fucks about it.
It's massive, and the bit in the middle that spin. Oh,
I couldn't give two fucks about it.
No, exactly. But apparently they're changing the transfer windows to fit in with it and everything. But give me, I miss going. If I'm honest with you, I miss the camaraderie. I was made to feel so welcome, although I was a Leicester fan. But again, everybody there tended to support another team as well.
Yeah.
I started going down just before Charlie Austin left. I saw about 3 or 4 games with Charlie Austin in. They were so welcoming. They were lovely. The guy that owned it, the vice chairman, all the board and what have you, they were so lovely, so welcoming. Non-league football is what keeps the football pyramid going in this country.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%. But yeah, I completely agree. You know, to be honest, there's so many good football clubs out there, and you know, John Sinclair, you know,
yes, he's doing a tour of these.
Friends.
He's doing a tour of like non-league clubs, isn't he?
You know, I turned around to him. I said, "Well, shall we go to?" Because of course he lives Somerset way. You know,
good side of country.
Side of country. So you know, I'm thinking next season maybe we'll go to, you know, like Poole Town versus somebody.
Come to Poole Town. I'll come with you. If you and John go to Poole Town, I'll come with you.
Yeah, we'll sort it out. I know that Dan, the Everton fan, wanted to come as well. So
do you know who I went to see a few weeks ago?
Go on.
Basically, because my
Waddy.
Nothing wrong with Waddy. Jimmy Savile. Waddy. Your waddies have never been so showed into a life.
Oh, do you know what?
What? Do tell. I'm fascinated.
Do you know what? We were sorting out some vinyls the other day that we found from years and years and years ago. Cut through the story. One of those vinyls, Jimmy Savile's Time Travels. Jimmy Savile's Time Travels.
You brought that even though he didn't reply to your Jim will fix it letter.
Now, if you Google it, there's a whole, you know, all the years. I'm not sure what year it was. To be honest, I didn't spend much time to look at it. But when you look at the songs that are on that vinyl, you go, geez, how did they not actually realise what he was all those years? Well, they didn't know what he was, you know, just people hiding.
Was there a lot of young ladies on there, was there?
Yeah. Like, there was a song, to be honest, I'm not even going to repeat it because at the end of the day, you know, but you could just make, and it was always about, you know, girl and all this. And it was just like, honestly,
obviously, again, we've said earlier, didn't we, hindsight is a wonderful thing.
Hindsight is a wonderful thing.
And when you look back at some of the interviews he did, you're thinking, for fuck's sake.
Louis Theroux.
Yes.
Louis Theroux. Now, how did Louis Freud? Also, there was videos that have come out since. This isn't a subject that I really like studying.
How did we
but
get onto Jimmy Savile?
I don't know. You mentioned him. But,
No, I didn't. You mentioned so Waddy Waddy.
But there was and then you said about Jimmy Savile.
But
In that Louis Theroux interview, there's so many videos. One of them, is with Gary Glitter and Jimmy Savile. How they should have kicked him off TV there and then. Did a full investigation, but people were protecting.
There's a very good
it's not hindsight.
No,
It's
very good dramatization, and I watched it.
Yeah.
Thinking, surely they can't be. I think it is BBC possibly, and a very good dramatization. I'm thinking, well, what else is there to know? And the woman that was producing Jim Will Fix It actually turned around and said, "I do not want him." And Bill Cotton, who was running the BBC at the time, said, "No, he's scoring this many points with the audience or what have you." And she said, "Have you not heard the rumours?" And he's going, "Yeah, but they are rumours," sort of thing. But can we get onto football? Can we get back onto football?
I don't know why you went there, but
no, we do go to strange places on this show, don't
but
we?
I tell you what, it'd be good to go to some non-league games.
Honestly,
great to go with John.
please.
I tell you what,
Look, if
I
you
think
go
his
to
local team. It's Froome Town.
They do play pool, I believe.
Froome Town will be there next season.
Please,
Me and Chris.
Please.
There we are.
Also, if you go to Pool Town, please do.
Do you know where Froome
invite
is?
me. It's Somerset. That's all I know.
Yeah, it's something. I don't know where. Oh, that's where Longleat is. Longleat.
Longleat. I don't know.
Well, if you drive, no, you don't drive anymore.
I don't.
But I'm not taking my car through there because at the end of the day, you go through the monkey enclosure, then you go through the lion enclosure, the tiger enclosure, and they start ripping things off.
Don't have a go at. Don't. As you said to me, don't bring my good lady up, and then you start mentioning the monkey enclosure. I mean, there's just no need for it. No need for it. But can I just say also, I want to say, get well soon, and I can't pronounce the gentleman's name. So the Nottingham Forest player who got injured in the game on Sunday against the Post has been put, and my sister was put into a forced coma after a car accident, so I know what it's like. And look, I know it's Nottingham Forest, but I want to say, get well soon, mate. I hope you're going to be okay. And get through it and get back onto that pitch as soon as possible.
100%.
What do you think about the owner of Nottingham Forest? Because I'm going to say this, right? Olympiacos are in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Nottingham Forest want to be in the Champions League and may still make it to the Champions League, right? But you can't, as an owner, you can't have two teams in the Champions League. So he's put all his shares into this account or something. So he's technically not even the owner. So he should not have even been on the pitch. But to go on the pitch and have a go at Nuno. And I have to say, I'm going to do a show in a couple of weeks comparing my projections of the Premier League.
Now I thought, where is he going with this?
To where it is. And I put Nottingham Forest. No, don't be shut up. I put Nottingham Forest to get relegated.
Penis to a gherkin. What? Comparing my penis to a shrimp.
Where the hell did that come from?
Because you said about comparing.
Yes! And compare the meerkat I'd have gone for, but comparing the penis to a gherkin. You, sir, are a very, very sad and dangerous man. And you should not. If his wife is watching, come and get him. Come and get him, please. Don't leave me alone. If I wink twice, I need help. Wink twice, I need help. This man is worrying me now. Hannibal Lecter has got nothing against this man. But look.
Hang on. TNT. And just to reiterate what Chris just said,
Nothing to do with the gherkin, you weird sod, you. Anyway, as I was saying, he should not even have been on the pitch, Mr. Greek kebab shop owner, because he technically isn't the owner, because he gave up his shares in Nottingham Forest because he can't have two clubs in the Champions League
Yes.
or any European competition. And as a non-owner, he should not have been on that pitch.
100%.
But I also
agree
say
with you.
I send my best wishes to the Nottingham
Yes,
Forest player
100%.
for a speedy
Yeah,
recovery.
you know, at the end of the day, that was horrible to see. But yeah, should never, ever been on the pitch. It's just stupid.
I
To be
don't
honest,
know
the
what
man
was
is
going on.
eccentric. He's a weirdo, isn't he? But yeah. he
But then
really
again,
is.
look, you know, if you're a Nottingham Forest fan, you're going to love him for what he's done, and I get that totally. I get it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm rather hungry, to be honest with you.
I am rather hungry as well, and I tell you what, I think we better get some food.
Get
so-
something in that mouth of yours, other than Margot Robbie's tit. Even I can't believe I said that. Then
You
Sorry.
dirty git.
sorry, I thought I'd get
Dirty git.
a laugh. Thought I might get a few titters, but obviously I boobed.
Well, I tell you what. On that bombshell, hit
Back
the
to the
like.
studio.
Hit the
Whichever channel you're watching, please go subscribe to the other channel.
Yes,
because it's
exactly.
2 great channels. UTIC.
UTCIAD.
I can remember that. Up the cherries in all departments. Go and check it out. I got that right twice this week. Leicester Till I Die TV. Look, I'm a Leicester fan, but I follow Bournemouth. This guy here, as fat as he is a Bournemouth fan, but he keeps an eye on Leicester.
Yeah, I do
You
keep
know.
an eye on Leicester.
Yes. We do, and that's what football.
No, I do hope you come straight back up.
You know,
like,
I don't know. Depends
I'm
how
not
the
taking this.
EFL treat us. They're waiting for us. I think
know,
we've still got a transfer embargo.
We
on.
might rip the piss
Like,
out of each other, but at
yeah.
the end of the day, we are really
Look,
good mates. So
football. The thing that makes football great is banter.
Yeah.
And if you can't have a bit of banter between clubs, what is the world coming to?
He's going to get the fucking violin out in a minute.
No, but
It's
it is,
just gonna
isn't
be
it?
like,
It isn't.
He's
Look,
trying to get a love in.
look, we hate. No, you hate other clubs. I hate Leeds, but fair play to them for going up this season. I hate Coventry, but I didn't want to see them go bust. It's all about having a bit of banter and a bit of a laugh. And I am going to say now, I want to say congratulations to Nottingham Forest on getting European football. Because I'll tell you something, right? You know when our chairman passed away in the helicopter crash, there was Nottingham Forest scarves and Derby County scarves and Coventry City scarves all over that stadium. And I will never, ever forget that. And as much as I take the piss out of the other clubs and have a bit of banter, I respect all of those clubs. Well, unlucky Coventry on not getting through to the playoff final. We'll see you next season in the Championship. Derby County, at least you've not gone bust and you've stayed up, so we'll play you again next season. And well done to Nottingham Forest for getting European football. But none of you have yet to win the Premier League and an FA Cup in the last 10 years.
There we are. He had to get the final word in. Final word in. Like I say, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell button on both channels. Send us all the love. Like I say, it's not a serious show, this one.
Really? Really?
He's a twat.
And he's a twat.
And on that bombshell, I think we better end when I can actually find the button to end.
You know where the buttons are, mate. Just look. Ooh, that was my button. Get off it, mate.
That's not. Oh, hang on.
Actually, I'm enjoying that. Carry on. Carry on, mate.
I should be like you, Melvin.